We're here today because Trump has defied the courts. He's deported Americans. His mass secret police are separating families and disappearing people off our streets. Shame. And they're slashing services like Medicaid and SNAP to line the pockets of his billionaire cronies. Shame. Enough is enough. Say it with me. Enough is enough. A lot of people have asked me, what good does it do? Trump's not going to change. He doesn't care that we're here. Maybe that's true. Until it isn't. You might have heard Republicans like Mike Johnson calling our No Kings protests Hate America rallies. I laughed the first time I heard it because it means something. It means they're scared. And that means we're doing something right. He has the gall to say we hate America. We love America. We love the loud, beautiful, chaotic streets of Denver. We love the variety of ways that people show up to protests. And we hate the fact that not everyone can safely exercise their American right to free speech. Now, why is our response nonviolent? Political scientists who've studied hundreds of nonviolent and violent revolutions found that nonviolent movements are twice as likely to succeed as violent ones. And over the last 50 years, they've become even more successful, even in brutal dictatorships. Civil resistance means fighting back. But we don't want to fight a dictator with his strongest weapon. He has a monopoly on force and violence, as we've seen by the lawless ICE agents assaulting innocent victims and kidnapping people off their streets. We want to be strategic about how we fight a dictator like this. Otpor was a nonviolent movement in Serbia from 1998 to 2000. Their goal was to overthrow Milosevic's authoritarian regime. Their strict adherence to nonviolence prevented the regime from portraying them as violent agitators. They used tactics like boycotts, encouraged strikes, and refusal to obey regime orders. But they also used humor and creativity, like what we've seen out of Portland lately, to make repression look absurd. When demonstrators stormed the federal parliament in Belgrade to demand Milosevic's resignation, he ordered soldiers to shoot. They refused. And when one of them was asked later why, he said, "I didn't know if my children were in that crowd." The bigger we grow our movement, the more connections we have to these pillars that prop up the fascist authoritarian regime. We need to make it uncomfortable, unbearable for the people who are carrying out Trump's plans. We must cheer for the people who refuse ICE to use their bathrooms and restaurants and refuse them parking lots and hotels. And the people who had dance parties and banged pots and pans outside the hotels that did give ICE shelter. During Trump's sad little birthday parade, some people noticed that the soldiers were marching out of step. When you hear from people who are or were in the military, you'll hear from them that you can march in your sleep, which means what these soldiers did during Trump's birthday parade was mass non-compliance. Deliberate misbehavior signals that the authorities' commands are not absolute. If you look around, you'll notice millions of people taking those large or tiny first steps. And now it's our time. We need to be louder, more visible. We need to motivate the people around us who are too scared to join us. We need to speak up for those who can't. My first experience at a protest was in 2003, a few days after George W. Bush declared war on Iraq with his shock and awe bombing campaign. Pictures started coming in of children maimed or killed by those bombs. I was only 21, but I knew I had to do something. I had just moved to Boulder, and I didn't know anyone in the area. But I was so angry, so heartbroken, that I decided to make a bunch of signs and go stand on the corner of Pearl Street and hope that people would join me. No one did. I stood there for half an hour and started to lose hope. Then, around the corner, came a huge march, and I ran over and I joined them, and I had this immense feeling of belonging, of finding thousands of people who felt exactly like I did. I wasn't alone anymore. And I've spent my life trying to replicate that feeling for other people. My hope is today that we are the crowd that offers someone that feeling of relief. That the photos and stories you share will lift the heart of a friend, a fired federal worker, a family member worried about how to afford health care next year. We are here together. Let's take a moment to soak in our power. We want you to know that we are here with you and that we have strength in numbers. Today around the country, there are more than 2,500 simultaneous protests. Can you feel it? We might not see our movement on corporate media, but our resistance is strong, and it's growing. Soon, we're going to march. When we march, we're joining in step physically with thousands, maybe millions of strangers. We're standing up for what is right, what is just, and what is good. We're showing people the alternative to fear and isolation and hate. We are the hope. We are strength, and we are power.